School Bodybuilding Clothing Company. If you wish your fancy fitness center was a hardcore gym, you are old school. If you just ate chicken and rice and are about to eat chicken and rice, you are old school. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes. Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company. If you wish your fancy fitness center was a hardcore gym, you are old school. If you just ate chicken and rice and are about to eat chicken and rice, you are old school. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
I'm Dave Palumbo, founder of Species Nutrition. From my earliest bodybuilding days, I believed in only putting the best in my body. And that lives on in the Species Nutrition line of products. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is our 2020 IFBB Chicago Pro Women's Bodybuilding Champion. She's going to the Olympia. It's my pleasure to welcome Theresa Ivancik to the show.
Hi, everyone.
What's up? You're looking great.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited.
I remember when you won the 2016 NPC Nationals in that heavyweight class, and I said, man, this is really what the look for women's bodybuilding should be. I know a lot of other people thought that as well, and it seems like it's become acceptable now.
Yeah, I want to be that different look. I want to stay very feminine. I want to go back to those, Corey Everson, Linda Murray days. Trying to learn just like those types of poses, be very graceful on stage, and just bring a whole different new look.
If people see you on stage and you look at the pictures, you're not that much bigger than the women's physique competitors, but you have a more, I say more muscle maturity maybe than they do, a little bit more size, and that's why I've been saying they should combine the divisions. But I think this is a great look for women's bodybuilding because it's marketable.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely the smaller end of the bunch. Like we talked about, I'm coming in around the 150s. Sometimes I was 155. With previous coaches, just not as conditioned. But I'm definitely one of the smaller girls where it's I'm almost like on the smaller end for female bodybuilding and then too big for women's physique.
The funny thing is people don't realize Iris Kyle is only like 160 pounds on stage. She's not huge either. It's just an illusion. And
yeah, so, I Googled her because I wanted to see like how much she actually weighed on stage. And the one thing that came up was like 156.
Yeah, she's not as big as people think. She's just proportioned it's the muscle bellies, the way they flow and everything. But once again, that's why I really felt that physique and bodybuilding is not that much different. And I think it's smart for you to stay in bodybuilding. And I've been telling a lot of women's physique competitors, I said, do bodybuilding because you're on the bigger side of women's physique already. You would cross over perfectly. And I think they think it's like an insult almost, but I don't know why. You know what? I guarantee you Jake Wood is going to be giving more money away for women's bodybuilding on the Olympia stage than the women's physique competitors are going to be getting. So if I was in a situation like you and some of these other ladies that can kind of go either way, I would go to bodybuilding,
Yeah, I did try. I'm sure I tried women's physique.
Yeah.
It took me 10 years to get my pro card, and I really wanted to get my pro card in women's bodybuilding because that's where my heart was.
Right.
That's how I grew up. I was a figure competitor, like in the very, very beginning, and it was either figure or bodybuilding. We didn't have physique or bikini. So I really wanted to get it in female bodybuilding. And the one year that I did women's physique at the Northern Americans, I skimped out on bodybuilding, and then I found out I'm too big for women's physique.
Yeah, that was back then. I guarantee if you did it now, they wouldn't be saying that, but because the girls have definitely gotten bigger over the last 5 years.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt. All right, let's take people back a little bit. So you won the Nationals in 2016. That was in Miami, Florida. I remember that. And then last year, you won the Linda Murray Classic. I think that's what it was called in Virginia. And you went to the Olympia and you placed sixth, which really wasn't the Olympia. They called it the Rising Phoenix Show. That was the World Championships of Women's Bodybuilding. Now, obviously, they're bringing back Women's Bodybuilding, but they're still keeping the Rising Phoenix Show. When is that show?
That show is December 5th, and I also have an invitational to that.
So I guess you'll do both, right?
Yep, I'm going to do both. So, I mean, we're debating right now, like, do I stay out in Vegas, for 3 weeks,
right,
and not fly back home? So we're in the talks of that right now.
Think about it. It's like a 1-2 punch that you probably can. I guarantee you, but if people sat down and figured it out, there's probably more money at those two shows than there are at two of the top men's shows that go back to back like that.
Yes, I mean for us, both of those shows. It's a great
opportunity for women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's like $50,000 plus a car. We get the Shelby Mustang is the car for Rising Phoenix this year.
Was it last year? Was a Hellcat? I think that was awesome that Helly Nielsen won. So, I've been saying they should combine the divisions. If I was, and I'm not trying to give you guys any more competition, if I was Shanique Grant, I would do the women's physique Olympia, and then I would go and do the Rising Phoenix show too, just to see if I can get some prize money, man, from it.
Yep. Why not?
Right? Come on. It's money. Look, that's what. Back in the day, when with men's bodybuilding, when they used to have a lot of shows, you would see guys like Flex Wheeler and Sean. Well, not really Sean Ray. He never did the Grand Prix. Flex. You saw Nasser. You saw all the top guys. They would go and hit like 5 shows in a row because they wanted to make money.
Yep.
And the fact that Jake is offering the money and the prizes, it's like you'd be crazy not to do it. They're right next to each other.
Yep. And like I said, now that they're both in Vegas too, literally like 2 weeks apart. You might as well just stay over there and just get a hotel or Airbnb and then just stay and go right into the next show.
Right. Now it's funny because when you were doing nationals, I think it was when you were doing nationals, Brian Hoydick, who's your coach, who's a very good friend of mine. He was sending me pictures and saying she's going to be the face of women's bodybuilding. And usually, Brian's not like an alarmist. Like when he tells me something, it's usually pretty accurate. And I looked at the pictures and I said, she should be. I said, I don't know if they'll accept that, but I said she should be. And so I'm glad to see that you're actually going to the Olympia. You got a win under your belt, and that you got a lot of momentum behind you.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I've worked with Brian. I got my pro card with him.
Yeah.
We won 2 pro shows together. I got 6th in the world, and now we're going to the Olympia. So I can't ask for literally a better coach.
Yeah.
We're very good friends. We see eye to eye. Whatever he tells me to do, I do. I don't. He knows what he's doing. I know what I need to do.
He knows what he's doing because I trained him. That's why I'm validating him. No, but he's a good guy too. Now, interestingly, we've been pumping you up and saying how great you are and everything like that, and that's awesome. And you got some good momentum, but. You had a tough time coming up because you had an eating disorder, that you've openly talked about. You were bulimic. Tell us about how that had developed. Because I'm always, usually a lot of bulimic people start out, they were heavy when they were teenagers, but that wasn't the case for you.
My mom actually babysat this kid, and he was really heavy. He was like 300, 400 pounds. Mm-hmm. And just one day, he came up to me and he was just like, "You're getting fat," because we had a pool and we were always swimming, and I don't know why.
The fat kid was telling you that you were getting fat.
Yeah,
and you believed him too. That's how insecure you were. Yeah.
But I don't know what it did, but it honestly, it just took me and it just broke me. And then I was confused because I didn't know who to talk to, and we didn't have a lot of that internet. Interaction. AOL was just coming out then. So I was trying to Google. I had my hands on some Oxygen magazines and I knew what I wanted to look like, but I didn't know how to get there. And in my head, it was like, there's no way you eat food and look like that.
Right.
So it all just was so confusing. And it was a lapse of 7 years until I met my fiance. And then we ended up, 2008 doing our first figure show together. And then I just kind of overcome it because I'm like, food is fuel and it's very, very healthy. And I actually feel 10 times better. And I just wish that a lot of girls that were going through this would reach out to people that have been through it and get themselves through it easier.
I find that as a coach and someone who's been helping people for over 25 years, that helping someone who's bulimic is way easier than helping someone who's anorexic. And I'll tell you why. Because anorexic people are control freaks. And they don't want to give over control of anything. They think they got everything under control. They think there's nothing wrong. Bulimic people who are, and there's different degrees of bulimic. You were actually full-blown throwing up, right? Things down the throat. a lot of bulimic people just over-exercise the weight off. You know, they basically purge the food by just trying to do 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of exercise a day, and that's how they get it out. And you did both, a little of both, I think you told me. Yeah.
Yep.
So bulimic people are easy to help because they really want to be helped. They don't want to do what they're doing. Yeah. They just don't know how to fix the problem. So if you put them on a structured program that gives them, all right, you're going to eat here, and you're going to do this here, and you're going to take this here, and you're going to exercise here, and you're not going to do more than this, and it works a lot of times because now you have a formula that actually will fix your problem. And that's really all you're looking for, right? I mean, is that an accurate depiction?
It is because it's structure. You know, it's having somebody tell you what to do, and then like we're very we have to do things like perfect. You know, we follow things by the book. So if somebody gives you a program, you're like, we're going to be those ones that literally never cheat.
No, right.
So we're going to be your good clients.
Yeah. But the good thing is once you started eating probably regimentedly and you saw your body improving, you had no desire to throw up anymore probably, right?
No. I mean, it's really weird. Some people may not have had the same situation that I did, and they might have needed more help. But after I felt the way I did and the energy, and then like you started taking it all out on the weights and in the gym, and you started building muscle, and you started seeing all this stuff, you're like, wow, like this is crazy. Like, and then you just become addicted. So you're moving one obsession and you're pushing it into another obsession.
But in a constructive way now, rather than a destructive way.
Yes, correct.
Right. And so, but like I said, try to help an anorexic person. It's way harder because they're afraid of food. They don't want to eat. They think they get. So you could tell them what to eat and they just won't do it. And so I think that, you know, once again, more bodybuilders I see with eating disorders are they just don't know what to do, and they don't know how to eat, and they're afraid, you know, they just need structure. And so, you know, I help a lot of people. I'm sure, I know you do diets for people as well. You probably help a lot of women, and I'm sure maybe some women, this will resonate with them that are watching this interview, and they'll contact you and want you to help them because obviously you have personal experience with that.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I have that a lot whenever I talk to girls, and they feel more comfortable because then I know their story and I know what they felt at some point of time. Now, anorexic, I don't know that per se, but you know, it's a little bit close to bulimic because it's still similar to the same condition, but you just don't know 100% of that.
Bulimic people don't have. I always almost envy anorexic people. They're so controlled that they'll never cheat. Like a bulimic person is just like, yeah, I want to be anorexic, but I can't be, so I'll just over-exercise, starve myself as long as I can, and then I'll just binge and throw it up. You know, and do that. I was a runner, you know, in college, and I wanted to get my weight down because, you know, the lighter you are, the better you run usually. So I was starving, you know, I was eating very small meals, and then I would binge at night, which was fine because I was running so much, I was running it off. But if I went a little too crazy, I would go out and I would run like an extra 5 or 6 miles just to exercise it off. So I was doing it, and I wasn't puking, but I was actually, you know, over-exercising because of that. And so
you're balancing out like what you put in and what you burn.
Right.
It's the same thing,
But then you do that extra 5 miles makes you 10 times more hungry again. So then you want to cheat again when you get back, and you get into this yo-yo aspect. And so I had a little problem for a while, and bodybuilding fixed me. I didn't need anyone else to show me. I just did a lot of reading and research, and once I started eating, like you said, regularly every couple of hours, my blood sugar was regulated, and I wasn't starving anymore. It was like a miracle cure almost, you know.
I mean, that's why I said a lot of it's just like trusting the system, like learning and being adaptable to open up the program because like something that you were doing wasn't working, and it's time to start something new. Right. You know, if you're not seeing those results or getting what you want, then, you know, try something different because 9 out of 10 times it's going to work.
When you're dieting now, and you know, I'm sure Brian gives you a cheat meal once in a while, right?
Maybe. Very few.
But I'm saying, if you get a cheat meal, do you does it ever like set off like a trigger in you, like, holy mackerel, I want to eat everything in sight? Or have you ever done that and then felt like guilty about it and said, maybe I should go do some extra exercise and stuff like that, you know, extra cardio?
I mean, I think what happens is because of our diet, and it is extremely low, and there's not a lot of calories. So what happens, the stomach shrinks. And whenever we go for like a refeed or something, I actually can't eat all that food, nor do I want to because my stomach's so small.
That's good.
So you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So even your cheat is not, you can never put that much food down. You think you're really cheating a lot, but it's really not. You wind up waking up the next morning, you're lighter than you were before. So.
Oh, it is. It's normally what it is. And then I'm like that psychotic person like we just talked about. So if you're going to give me pizza, I'm going to go in the kitchen and I'm going to grab my 4-ounce chicken and make sure I have my protein with my carb.
I was the same way. All right. Now you have a gym, Harlan's Elite Fitness. That's in Butler, PA. What kind of a gym is that? Is it like a small gym? Is it a bigger gym?
We did a small, like, local hometown gym. We're 24/7. We have every single walk of life in there. We've changed so many lives. And it's just like a get it done gym, but it's very personable. And like I said, we know every single member that goes in there by first and last name. Cool. We just have a blast down there.
That's awesome. Now, going into the Olympia, you're going to be going up against Iris Kyle this year, 10-time Miss Olympia. Did you ever think you'd stand on stage with Iris? Because, Iris kind of retired, for a while, and it's got to be like a legend, in women's bodybuilding. She is a legend, I guess.
It's like I just signed my contract for the Olympia like 2 seconds before we got to talking, and I text my fiance. I'm like, this is really freaking happening right now. And then you look at the list of athletes, and you're like, my name is on there, and then you see hers, and like you said, she's a legend. Like, she's been up there, like, she's won 10 times. Yeah. So you're like, you better bring your A game, because all these girls are not going to play. Right.
Now she is at the end of her career rather than the beginning of her career, but still she's the best, and so if you beat the best, you have the bragging rights of someone who I don't think she's lost in like God knows how many years. I mean, and she only lost the one year she was a little off. Oksani beat her, and then there was one year at the Arnold. I think she had like a lump on her on a muscle or something like that. They penalized her for. But so if you would beat her now, it would be like knocking out Mike Tyson, essentially.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh wow, like it's totally a dream come true.
I'm sure now when I get her on for an interview, like in a week or so, she's gonna be like, I heard that, I watched that interview. You said
probably. Well, we'll just say I love her.
Yeah, we all love Iris. All right, well, we're going to wrap this thing up. I wanted to once again congratulate you for the big win in Chicago, which actually was in Atlanta, and congratulations and good luck going into the Miss Olympia competition in December.
Thank you so much. I totally appreciate you having me on the show.
Oh, yeah, let me see. What's the puppy's name? I see your dog in the back there.
Oh, that's Riley.
Riley, come over here and say hello.
She has cancer, so the song that I did at the last show was actually for her. It was called In the Great Wide Open because we don't have a lot of time with her.
Well, you know what you should do? The people who used to make Quest protein and who now do Legendary Foods have a keto dog food that they developed for dogs with cancer. You should get her on that. I mean, because it really does. They've done a lot of research on that. It really helped out. And I feed my dogs that now just because I think it's healthier for them. It's a naturalistic diet.
Yeah. But right now she's eating Frosties from Wendy's, and that is it.
Well, we'll say a prayer for her. We all love dogs, and I'm a big animal lover, as everyone knows. So best of luck, and we'll see you in Vegas.
Thank you so much, Dave.
All right, guys, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With. I'm Dave Palumbo. For Theresa Ivancik, we'll see you next time.